We're here at the Jordanian embassy in Tel Aviv, which was established about 17 years ago after the two countries made peace. Today, the durability of that treaty is being called into question after the Arab Spring and the deterioration of ties between Israel and Egypt. In a recent interview with the U.S. newspaper The Washington Post, King Abdullah II of Jordan called his close ties with Israel the last man standing, and he said he thought it was, quote, very likely that Egypt might cancel its peace treaty with Egypt. Now some here are wondering if the Arab Spring might reach Amman and topple the regime of King Abdullah and put the peace treaty in jeopardy. We decided to talk to Israelis about what they think. Take a listen.
As an Israeli, of course, it's very concerning. It's a lot of concern about this notice because we believe in peace, not in cancel agreements. So I think that we know that Jordan got a lot of space from the peace of Israel, but there are a lot of threats on the Jordanian in the new Mediterranean, as it's become with the new era of all the Arab crash. So I think that this guy is very concerned. I think that the European community needs to take care of him, and mainly the US president. Make everything be controlled again and get the peace back to the right place.
Basically, I'm not worried about that. I know that our governments are solving these problems, and I think like people in the center of the country, they have more peaceful life here, so they not really think about it like most of the people. And people who really feel the war, like south, next to Beersheba, next to Gaza, I think there are people who worry much more about the war, like Egypt and Jordan, like all Arab countries.
I am a bit concerned about it. I think there is a big change in the area now, and I don't know, people can easily be motivated to look at us differently, at Israel, and maybe in a few years some peace agreements will not be so sacred, and so yeah, I'm a bit concerned. I think Egypt is the first step in a change in this area. Not a good change, I think.
I think it's very important. The Jordan, I think, is the last country which has more or less stable relationships with Israel, and taking account what's going on in Egypt, I think it's very important to Israeli to keep these relationships stable, and this is all my concern.
In my opinion, I'm not feel very concerned about the peace process with Jordan. I think Jordan have their own interest about all the issues, the Palestinian Authority and Palestinian statement and the refugees and all this agreement that's supposed to come. So I don't think even if Egypt will decide to cancel the peace agreement, I think Jordan still have their own interest to keep this process going on.
About Jordan, I think is strong enough, the peace with Israel, and I don't think it will be a big problem or anything, but it's the terrorism. This is the main problem, but I think Abdullah, the king of Jordan, is strong enough, and he will do something about this. We trust him anyway.
Jordan's King Abdullah II told The Washington Post that he's committed to the peace treaty with Israel and that it benefits both sides. But on the peace process, he said he's never been so frustrated and that Israel is missing an opportunity to move forward. He said he's come to the conclusion that the current Israeli government is not interested in peace, not interested in a two-state solution. Jordana Miller, JN1, Tel Aviv.